who will now present some of the milestones achieved in this conference.
Good afternoon. So first of all, I would like to thank the organization for letting me be part of this great event. And I would like to extend a word of enormous sympathy to all the speakers and participants of this conference. And I will just provide a brief overview of some highlights of the conference today in reverse order. So if we go to this last round table, so a very important question has been discussed, which is in fact, how can we use natural resource management to provide opportunities for the people to combat social inequalities in a world where so often resources unavailability increases disparities? So it is very clear that the future is not a linear projection of the past, as it was mentioned, even because, of course, we would not have resources to support it. So we need to be connected. So we need to connect things. So, for example, new business opportunities, new economic models, new digital tools, new strategies on how to use natural resources, far beyond looking at waste at an international level, bringing all the nations together. And this is the way to unleash the potential of circular economy. If we go to the second round table, it was very interesting to have this discussion on that. By one side, we need regional scale, which is adequate level for place-based approaches. And this is the case for circular economy, where distance matters. But by other side, as for example, for Brazil, as a large country, they look for solutions that might work countrywide. And again, what is clear is that one solution does not fit all. And international knowledge sharing is very important and involves technology, culture, industrial, and other dimensions. And of course, we always need a champion to support these processes of co-creation that are embedded in the circular economy and of course, important for scaling up. In this session, we also add this very good news by the ambassador of Slovenia in Brazil that Slovenia will take circular economy and its governance forward in their presidency. So if we go to the presentation by my dear friend Reid Leifset, he also made very clear that if we want to achieve decarbonization and GHG reductions, we need to look at the potential contribution of materials. So we need to look at materials and we need to look at resource efficiency strategies, which are critical. And particularly, we need to look at more intensive use of products and materials as the most critical aspect. But of course, this also lacks policies to facilitate, and eventually this is the next step. Looking at roundtable 1 on green funds and financial instruments, there was a clear mention again to look at the product life cycles. So to focus on extending the product life cycle, remanufacturing, and that digital application, material sciences, chemistry, will enable new business models that will make this easier. The idea of a product passporting that accompanies the product life cycle and provides new hints on how to develop the products in a way that they become more and better used is very important. And of course, will facilitate and improve end-of-life options in terms of circular economy. This has already been the case as in Brazil, which is very strongly engaged and intertwined and networked with others in this topic of circular economy. Well, coming back to the first keynote speaker, Professor José Franca, it is also important to recognize that this green energy thesis, so look at residues as resources, looking at Earth as a living systems, are significantly more interesting to entrepreneurial actives nowadays than they were before. And in fact, he mentioned something very relevant, which is in the EU, we are excellent in making science with money, but not so good in making money from science. And this is something that is changing and that circular economy could help changing. He also mentioned that the importance of double track careers to bring together researchers and companies. And here I would like to highlight this Portuguese experience of the collaborative laboratories, COLABs, which in fact are new entities that bring together companies and university in new associations to develop products and services that can provide and contribute to development. And with this, let me provide a final word and a very special word to the COLAB that organized this session, CECOLAB, and in particular, a very special word to João Nunes, a champion in itself. And I would like to say that, in fact, the COLAB is an example for the future. So CECOLAB brings together business, academia, and provides very relevant opportunities for bright young people in the interior of Portugal to connect and to impact in the world while developing the economy and, of course, the environment, as this conference has exemplified. Indeed, this conference highlighted that solutions do not come in isolation. And as it was mentioned yesterday by the young entrepreneurs, it's all about purpose and motivation. And let me say, yesterday and today, we have got great doses of both. Thank you all for what you have given to us and shared with such a bright way. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you all. Paulo, it's a pleasure to be here at the end of this amazing two-day event. I'd like to thank and congratulate João Nunes and his team from CECOLAB for this event and all these amazing panel discussions. And I've been honored to be part of the scientific committee and being involved on this journey of selecting the themes, selecting the speakers. And I can see now, going through all these debates, this is certainly a great milestone, connecting great circular pioneers and circular innovation centers with great competence to bring science closer to the market. I think this has been a very strong point that we valued a lot. And we believe this is the way, through knowledge exchange and using Isabella Teixeira words, we have to bring scientific knowledge to a global discussion. We're not talking about problems, we're talking about solutions. Circular economy is not about tackling the problem of the linear economy. It's about redesigning the system and avoiding waste generation and avoiding pollution. So it's very important to have this event and this international knowledge exchange, considering the presidency of Portugal and being followed by the presidency of Slovenia. So we are very happy to be here, creating a bridge between Europe and Latin America, because we believe as a great region that have a lot of natural resources and a very rich ecosystem, we must be together designing this global circular economy, co-creating solutions and adapted to our reality. So we have the experts, we have the knowledge, and we are keen to be part on the design of this international natural resource management guidelines, which is one of the key elements of the circular economy action plan. So well done to everybody. And I'm very happy to be here developing these new partnerships and alliance, which are the key for the global circular economy.
now start the closing session. Please welcome João Nunes and Professor Dr. Ana Abrunhosa, Minister of Territorial Cohesion of the Portuguese government.
Good afternoon, boa tarde a todos. I would like to thank all CECOLAB team, scientific committee, speakers, musicians, we are very brilliant people, and logistic companies to support this event. Thanks, Mr. Professor Manuel Heitor, to invite CECOLAB to organize this event. And also, I would like to thank Professor Ana Abrunhosa. She is a part of this project. It's a pleasure for us to have today, in the final of this event, the present year, Professor Ana Abrunhosa. In fact, at this moment, we are starting and constructing a new way towards a circular economy. I'm announced at this moment that CECOLAB, Collaborative Laboratory towards Circular Economy from Portugal, Centro de Inovação Brasileiro para a Economia Circular, and African Circular Economy Network formalize in this event a cooperation for the future, a cooperation for the bridge between Europe, Africa, and Latin America. This cooperation has three main areas: natural resource and bioeconomy, youth generation and education, social aspects, and job generation. Based on international knowledge exchange, science and innovation, market generation. Thanks, Beatriz. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Garcia. Will be a pleasure work with you for the future of circular economy. Thanks. Obrigado a todos.
Boa tarde. Thank you, João, for the kind words. Dear speakers, dear participants, I would like to congratulate you on such a wonderful conference. I would like also to thank you for your kind invitation. Thank you for the wonderful music. And I will be very brief, but I have some message that it is important that the Portuguese government wants to tell you. The Portuguese presidency of the Council of the European Union is an extraordinary opportunity for Portugal to organize such a high-level events with themes that are so close to our economic context. Organizing an event like this dedicated to the various dimensions of the circular economy is certainly a relevant matter of our local, regional, national, and European agendas. Allow me, on a more personal but also professional note, to compliment the choice of Oliveira do Hospital, where we have the headquarters of our collaborative lab, CECOLAB, as the venue of this international conference. Thank you, João Nunes, for the impressive work that you and your wonderful team have been doing. Paulo Ferrão has explained a little bit of your work, but those that already don't know your path and the wonderful work that you are doing, I tell you that you should look closer and look in internet the wonderful work that CECOLAB is doing in the interior of Portugal. CECOLAB has recently told the Portuguese people the story of Anishur, who came from Bangladesh, of Tuba, a young girl from Turkey, but also the story of George, who worked in Italy, France, and Poland. 3 different people who traveled and worked around the world before arriving here in Oliveira do Hospital to accept highly qualified jobs in the interior of Portugal. These are just 3 examples what is becoming a trend. A rural area, which for many people used to mean depopulation, is now a symbol of hope, stable and well-paid jobs. Now, rural territories also mean development, growth and opportunity. Thank you for being such a wonderful example for our country and for the world. From this, some might say, unlikely territory, you work on the challenges of the future of our country and of the world. You show us the utility and mandatory need of implementing circular economy principles instead of the classic and inefficient approach of the linear economy. Circular economy really is mandatory in the overall process of achieving climate neutrality by 2050 and dissociating economic growth from resource exhaustion, contributing to ensure long-term competitiveness and sustainability in the European Union. It gives companies the ability to reduce spending and create higher quality products at a more affordable price. And it enables those products to be reused, repaired, or recycled, opening ways to innovative jobs that require upgraded knowledge and skills. All of these will have extraordinary impact in our territories, as this collaborative lab in Oliveira do Hospital shows very well. Circular economy is a fundamental European principle and goal for our common future. It is also a priority of the next European programming period in what concerns the funding of private and public projects. It will be a way, as has been said, of putting knowledge in our companies, in our cities, and everywhere. So it will be a priority in what concerns the funding of our projects. And now, it is my pleasure to announce that CECOLAB will sign today, April 21st, a letter of mutual cooperation with the Brazilian Circular Economy Innovation Center and the African Circular Economy Network. This partnership will enable these actors to work together in technical and scientific programs, facilitating the exchange of knowledge and the best practices between Europe, Latin America and Africa. This was agreed on the Global Alliance on Circular Economy and Resource Efficiency launched by the European Commission and the United Nations. With this common effort, the 3 different organizations from 3 different continents will bring together their expertise and local networks of experts to create a true ecosystem prepared to develop joint projects, organize knowledge exchange initiatives, and support international debates. This is proof that actors from all places, no matter how rural or distant from capitals and decision centers, can truly make change happen, leading by example. Thank you, João Nunes, once again, and the CECOLAB team for showing us how it is done. Now, it is our duty as politicians to follow your example. We shall mobilize all economic actors industry, academia, and citizens towards circular economy goals and principles. This is the way towards a cleaner, more competitive economy that benefits every territory and every people. Thank you for your time and for this wonderful initiative. Thank you for your work. And remember every day, it is not impossible. Thank you.
We now conclude the second and final day of the International Conference, Europe, a knowledge and science bridge towards a global circular economy. We would like to thank Professor Dr. Abrunhosa for her presence here today, the speakers for their insightful presentations, as well as the scientific committee and everyone in the audience who have made this a fruitful and successful event. Now please stand for the Anthem of Europe, the National Anthem of Portugal.